from the News Channel 5 Network and Out and About newspaper. This is Out and About Today.
Welcome to Out and About Today. I'm Brent Meredith. We have another exciting and informative show for you tonight. Pam Wheeler has an interview with the Victory Fund and their importance in the upcoming elections. And on tonight's Entertainment Outlook, Chuck Long catches up with Nashville in Harmony for a look back and forward to their next performance. But first, you know we like to open all of our shows with a buzz about, and I'm joined by my awesome co-hosts Pam Wheeler and Chuck Long, and once again by Out and About Nashville editor James Grady. Welcome, you guys. Appreciate you being here. Are you ready to give me your opinions?
Heck yeah.
Kind of a stupid question. All right, well, our first topic tonight, I found this rather interesting because just last month, National Day of Silence took place, which we all are familiar with. We've talked about here on the show before, but I've never seen sort of a counter protest in regards to that. So some students at Pennsylvania's McGuffey High School organized an anti-gay day sort of in response to this, and I wanted to show you guys a clip real quick, and we can discuss that after the fact.
The controversial photos are making their way around social media. Students at McGuffey High School in Washington County organized what they call an anti-gay day, seen here yesterday wearing flannel shirts to show solidarity and writing anti-gay on their hands.
It just hurts me to see how rude and cruel, and some of these people were my friends before this started.
Students tell Channel 11 the anti-gay movement was hurtful to begin with, before they say students crossed the line and became physical.
Yesterday there was pushing, notes left in people's lockers, things flicked at them, posters hung on like homosexual students' lockers.
Zoe Johnson took to Facebook saying this is why so many students hate going to school. She also spoke out at last night's school board meeting saying something needs to be done by administrators. Dozens of parents also reached out to Channel 11.
It's the parents that I'm friends with who are concerned about it, who don't want this happening, and they're hearing that the school's doing nothing.
We reached out to McGuffey's superintendent. She would not do an interview but released a statement saying allegations of harassment were brought to the attention of our administration. McGuffey School District will continue to investigate all allegations. We will follow our student code of conduct and file legal citations as warranted. In the meantime, several students told us they're afraid to go to school.
All right, guys. You're all shaking your heads. Okay, who wants to go first? Pam, you're shaking yours the right way, rather. So what are you thinking?
I mean, I'm just shocked at that.
I know, right?
I really am, that there are young people. I just associate young people
with tolerance.
Yeah.
Open mind,
yeah. And to see them pose in their flannel, which, P.S., what does that even mean?
Well, we know that's...
But you don't wear... I haven't seen any of you in flannel.
Right.
Okay? So they're doing it to me.
Yeah.
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 And it's just, and then what also bothered me so much is the administration certainly didn't have enough to say afterwards, right?
Yeah, the fact that it was just a statement released and wouldn't even speak
that said
about it.
Something happened.
Yeah.
One thing that was encouraging, though, was the fact that the two moms in there, they're saying that they don't think the school did enough and they think it's wrong and they can't believe that people, were putting up with this to begin with, which I like that.
Well, I mean,
for sure.
On the one hand, I understand they have a right to protest and have their things, but have their opinion. But it said that people started getting pushed and notes were left on lockers. Obscenities were used to. So I mean, it really kind of went past the complete antithesis of the Day of Silence. And James and I were talking earlier. He has an interesting theory.
Well, I don't know which theory you're talking about, but as part of a larger nationwide movement, there's this day of conversation that was being promoted by a Christian group, which is basically to force kids out of their silence. Either you listen to us, say our say, or you're silent. And this is part of an organization organized by adults. Kids are the proxies for their parents, and they're bringing the battle to our schools.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was referring to, was who really set the wheels in motion on this.
And I think this is part of the backlash, because the more acceptance that the LGBTQ movement has, it seems like, though, the more backlash that you get. I mean, we saw it in that, which I hate the fact that they call it religious freedom, but the whole thing, with Indiana and all of that, and now we're seeing it with this. And high schools trying to say, come out and say, we don't like this, and I think that's just part of the unfortunate backlash.
Well, and I was trying to get at what the true motivation is here, and we were also discussing, if one student's being getting attention in some way, is it an acting out of the others to just gain that attention? Do they just feel left out in a way, like, oh, we don't have a special protest day? I mean,
perhaps. But to speak to James' point, I would like those parents, I would love to be able to associate that behavior with their parents, if that's it, because then we can understand, right? because that kind of behavior has an explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one, that, I mean,
you know, to me, the old statement that politics is the continuation of war by other means comes into play here. You know, this, you know, when the war is being lost in the courts, society and our institutions are where the war will continue.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've only got about 3 minutes, so I mean, I know we could talk the whole segment on this, but let's move ahead because this is another interesting series, or rather, NBC News ran a series on transgendered youth with a report of a sort of a, and there's a picture there, a charming 5-year-old. The caption, Jacob LeMay and one of his sisters, but Jacob was born genetically a female, and he said he loves to get his hands dirty, says his mom. His father, Joe, adds he was born in a girl. He's also born in a girl's body, but since he was at the age of 2, has been saying, I'm a boy and my name is Jacob. And we've talked a little bit about this a couple times before with some things, but I just wanted to, you know, point out again that this is NBC News. What do we think the reaction is going to be when people see this? Chuck?
Well, one of the things I thought was interesting was the fact that the parents were so understanding, and they said that they understood that the child felt like a boy from a young age.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, though, too, was some parents say, though, when is it okay to allow your child to say, I feel like I'm a boy, at 4, at 7, at 10? But these parents said it was good to do it then.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of evidence here pointing to the fact that it was sort of a transgender youth, aside from what some of the detractors say, which is, oh, it's just a phase kids go through. You know, you have the tomboy phase, you maybe have, you know, what do you think, James?
I'm torn by this, you know, because it's so prominent in culture right now. And I saw a piece the other day about people letting their children transition at this age. And I wonder about, you know, totally affirming, totally, you know, don't quash that sort of thing. But I wonder about beginning to take medically helpful changes.
I understand exactly what the point you're trying to make there. I truly do, and I don't want to cut it off, but I know we also want to talk about the May issue of Out and About Nashville. There's the cover there.
That is a great
kind of
cover.
a provocative cover. Tell us a little bit about it.
So we decided this month to take a look inside the Male Socials, which meets twice a month at the Tennessee Social Club, the Social Club. Which has been under such controversy. There are these 2 male nights, and so we went inside, and I have a narrative about what a night at the men's club looks like, the Male Socials.
do you give it thumbs up or a thumbs down? I'm just curious.
I think that it has its place, and it has the market that it appeals to, and I think that it definitely should be here.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's an intriguing tease, too. I'm going to go out and
anybody
read,
that we know.
Exactly.
Who was there?
Let's just say that 2 people called me by name when they saw me.
Really?
Wow, let's talk off air.
Yeah, exactly. To be continued.
Yeah, so they're keeping their mouths shut, too. What exactly, anything else in the issue that you wanted to point out?
You know, to keep with the theme, we have an interview with Hunter Page, who's a male porn star and a local bartender. So he's recently been in a mainstream movie that we talked about.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, cool. So a really interesting issue. Yeah, make sure you guys pick it up. And we'll be right back with Pam's visit with the Victory Fund after the break. Stay with us.